Right up there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could take a brief moment of silence right now, we know that there is a major hurricane passing through the Atlantic, and we know our executive director, we're definitely praying for your family. So if we could just take a moment of silence and send a prayer up for Jamaica. Thank you. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I know we have a former elected official amongst us. I want to give, of course, good evening, former Commissioner Barbara Jordan. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Definitely wanted to recognize you and thank you for all your service to Miami-Dade County. Madam CRA Directors, CRA Turner, is our agenda set? Do we have any additions, deletions?
I believe there is a request for items to be taken off of consent. I've been advised that that has to be done via a vote.
Okay.
So there's a request that item on the consent agenda, item B, well, that's the only one that's coming off of consent, but off of the regular agenda, item 1.
Can I also request that item D be removed from consent as well?
So, okay, so for clarity, B is being requested to be tabled to the November meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
And agenda item 1 is being requested to be tabled to the November meeting. For item D on the consent agenda, do you want that to be removed off of today's agenda completely, or you just want it off of consent and on the agenda, regular agenda?
I would like it off of consent on the regular agenda because I'd like to make an addendum to the amount.
No problem.
So
Do you want to take that as a group then, or do you want to do them individually?
Are there any more changes, Madam Chair?
For the board, do you guys have any changes or?
So on the consent agenda, item B is being requested to be tabled to the November meeting. November 11th.
The 10th, we moved it.
Oh,
We moved because the 11th is Veterans Day, so we're having a special meeting on the 10th.
On Monday.
okay, we can likewise do the same. So we can do the 10th. And then item D on consent is being moved to the regular agenda.
Okay.
On the regular agenda, item 1 is being requested to be moved to the November 10th meeting.
And that needs to be taken up for a vote.
That is correct.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Second?
I have a motion made by Board Member Estime Irvin to table items consent item B and item 1 to the November 10th meeting. And item 4, or consent item D, to be moved to the regular agenda. Seconded by Vice Chair Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
So do we now need a vote on the consent agenda or? Okay.
Unless a member of the CRA board wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A, C, E, F, G, and H constitute the consent agenda. These items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered items adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of tabs A, C, E, F, G, and H be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Do we need to open up for public hearing? No?
Not consent.
Oh, not for consent, okay.
I have a motion made by Vice Chair Timothy, seconded by Board Member Estime Irvin. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Can we take item D as agenda item 1?
Consent item D, resolution approving interlocal agreement for shared services with the city of North Miami.
No.
No.
Oh, wait.
That's item,
Oh,
right,
so
it's
it's
item D.
labeled here. Hold on.
Where?
Well, excuse me, apologies. A resolution approving agreement with Hip Rockstar LLC for communication services.
I know I requested for this one to be removed. I would like to make an addendum to this contract. I have used Hipstar Rockstar Services for my Teach the Fish Business Summit, which is a initiative of the CRA. So I wanted to ensure that we include the full-on production costs for that in this agreement as well. So that's what I wanted to have the addendum be. Does it need to be re-agenda, like brought back to the agenda, or can I make that change here tonight? It'll just be by a dollar amount.
Right, so if we're just increasing the dollar amount and I guess the scope to include that, that's something you can do tonight
Okay.
because it's
Been noted.
favorable to the applicant,
Okay.
to the consultant.
Okay.
So is there a certain amount?
Yes, it'll be up to 35,000 to add on in addition. Mm-hmm. Is that it? Okay.
Yeah,
You're recognized.
So, Madam Chair, so it's just an additional 35,000
correct.
line item to teach the fish, correct? Okay.
I think what is happening here is that Hip Rockstar's agreement, which is currently at $157,500, is increased by $35,000 to include the services that she renders for Teach the Fish.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions from the board? Public hearing is now open on consent item D. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. I'll move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Chair Timothy to approve agenda item D, consent item D. The motion was seconded by Board Member Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
192,500.
Agenda item number 2.
Agenda item 2, resolution approving agreement with We Strategize for lobbying services.
Do you guys have
Staff is requesting that the board authorize the renewal of the professional services agreement with Re-Strategize LLC for lobbying services at Miami-Dade County for fiscal year 25-26 at an annual cost not to exceed $60,000. Re-Strategize is a lobbying firm that represents the North Miami CRA at the Miami-Dade County level, and we are seeking to have them do this throughout the fiscal year.
Open to public?
Public hearing is now open on agenda item number 2. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Discussion up here.
Move for approval?
Second.
A motion made by Board Member Estimate Irvin to approve agenda item 2. The motion was seconded by Board Member Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Agenda item number 3.
Agenda item 3, resolution approving interlocal agreement with Northwest 7th Avenue CRA.
North Miami staff is requesting that the NMCRA board authorize the execution of the interlocal agreement with the Northwest 7th Avenue Corridor CRA for the redevelopment of the Northwest 7th Avenue Corridor, which is a listed priority corridor for the North Miami CRA. Northwest 7th Avenue is a key commercial corridor connecting North Miami to the regional economy. Both agencies have identified the corridor as a redevelopment priority and seek to coordinate their investment strategies. The ILA establishes a cooperative framework that includes joint planning and project coordination, shared cost participation on mutually agreed efforts, common design and infrastructure standards, shared data and performance tracking, and a unified community outreach and messaging. Staff recommends approval of the resolution. We do have the executive director of the North Miami CRA, 7th CRA, present if there are questions.
We know he's no stranger to the North Miami CRA.
He is not.
Public hearing is now open on agenda item number 3. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Discussion up here.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Charles to approve agenda item 3. Motion was seconded by Board Member Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Agenda item number 4.
Agenda item 4, a resolution approving agreement with Kimley Horn.
So we do have an agreement. This is an extension of the prior agenda item. So the first effort of the interlocal agreement is to work with Kimley Horn in doing a landscaping documents for the medians that are on Northwest 7th Avenue that land within both of the boundaries of both CRAs. We do have a representative of Kimley Horn present virtually who can speak to the scope of the work.
Yeah.
This is to create a study, not to actual do the work? Or
So not a study anymore. We have, it's the pre-development services for that work to be able to get the medians begun. So we do know that we would like to have visible change on Northwest 7th Avenue, that corridor, early next year. So this is the fastest possible way that we're able to start getting that work done.
So this is not the actual work that's being done to the median?
No, we would need construction documents in order for the work to begin. And so this is the generation of those construction documents. There's work that has to be done in order to be able to put it out to get the construction done.
And this is for all of 7th Ave, including the Northwest 7th Ave CRA
Yes, it
as
is.
well?
Well, we're not going to say all of 7th Avenue.
I want to know, are they
7th
taking some of the bill?
They are.
Oh.
They are. 60% of this bill will be covered, or 70% of this bill will be covered by the Northwest 7th Avenue
How much,
CRA.
what is the percentage?
70%?
Oh, 70%.
Yes.
Okay, so this is not just a North Miami
It
CRA.
is not. It is a collaborative effort.
Okay,
First venture from the ILA.
okay.
Mr. Haggard?
You need to say that on record.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Oh, good. Good evening, everyone. For the record, Tom Hargroves, Project Manager and Landscape Architect, Kimley Horn, 8201 Peters Road, Plantation, Florida. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. As a part of Annabo's coordination, so I'm here this evening to talk through the general scope of the project for the Northwest 7th Avenue corridor. Without further ado, I can kind of talk through the overall scope of the project. Happy to share my screen, which is the working contract, or just talk through the general scoping of the limits. So then, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me. So the overall corridor, as a part of the overall contract, would be for State Road 7. Its focus is landscape beautification and irrigation within the existing medians. The corridor limits are approximately from Northwest 155th Street down to Northwest 80th Street. Which, as Annabelle mentioned, the project does split out amongst two of the CRA districts. So roughly 1.5 miles exist within the North Miami CRA district, and 3.5 miles exist within the Northwest 7th Avenue CRA district. As a part of this process, as Annabelle mentioned, it will be construction documentation as well as construction services. Our project is primarily brought into three tasks. One is our initial due diligence. We will be working with both the City of Miami, the CRA, as well as FDOT and the district to coordinate on base files, utility locations, collecting site data information with existing record drawings that FDOT has on file, as well as working with the Public Works Department to identify potential tapping locations for future irrigation that will be then brought into our construction documentation. As I mentioned, we focused on simplification. Previous to the project that was completed back in 2020, 2021, irrigation was not fully a part of the scope, only in select areas. We've worked with Annabo in the past to identify the need for permanent irrigation within the median. So we'll be working with utility as-built and water service information to identify how we can incorporate permanent irrigation into the medians. So upon the completion of the due diligence task, we then move on to permanent construction documents. Annabelle may have mentioned this previously, but we are in contact and conversation with FDOT regarding the middle portion of the project, which is from 119th to 143rd. Understanding that this is a deficient condition and it's a priority for the district to get this addressed first. This will be a top priority as a part of the design construction documents to identify the plant material and overall design that will eventually go into that portion. Moving on through the design phase, we will then re-engage FDOT through the permitting process, which is to occur under a highway landscaping permit. Currently, there is one that exists for the middle portion of the project that I just mentioned, 118th to 143rd. And then we will meet at the onset of the project to determine how FDOT would like to proceed with permitting with the northern boundary up to 155th and the southern boundary down to Northwest 8th. And then lastly, task 3 covers the limited construction-based services. So that's Community partnership during the construction project to be on site for general construction observations, ensuring the contractor is installing material, according with the contract documents. So that's a high-level breakdown of the contract. Happy to answer any specific questions you guys might have.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me open it up.
Certainly.
Let me open it up for a public hearing first before I bring it back up here to the board. Public hearing is now open on agenda item number 4. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Discussion? Questions?
Madam Chair, if I may, the question probably goes to our executive director and also Cass, who's the father of Northwest 7th Avenue. Wherever you go, you still attached to our Northwest 7th Avenue. So I see, first of all, I'm glad that we have this group because I see the kind of work that they do, and they're very sharp and beautification, which is something that we truly need on Northwest 7th Avenue. And we're talking about irrigation, which is also on point, landscaping. And I think I missed the third component, but something that I think we don't talked about in these studies, lighting. I think we also need to open our eyes to lighting. The type of lights that we have on Northwest 7th Avenue with those high poles with FPNL, you know, that at night some of the areas are like very dark. And I think to a project like that, we should bring some different type of lighting that will also bring beauty to the areas. That's something that you will consider, or something that we need to have a different discussion on it.
We'll definitely take that into consideration.
And the other thing is that we, and the scope of work, we also add some site where we can have some outlets, let's say around the holidays, that we can place, you know, Christmas lights around. So we need a place to plug them in and everything. So that is also something that I would like to see you guys add into the scope of work as we talking about the median of our Northwest 7th. So those are like my two.
Yes, I can see you, and thank you.
Any other questions? I have one. As it relates to the tree deposition, do you guys go in depth to identify what type of trees, or this is just placing where the trees are going?
No, absolutely. So as a part of our construction documentation, which will be a requirement both of the North Miami and FDOT permitting process, we will identify all the existing conditions as it relates to the plant material. So in addition to identifying the existing trees, the types, the DBHs, as well as their condition, we will also inventory for that interior portion of 119th, 143rd, the existing planting material that could feasibly remain in place. I think as a part of our beautification program, we would like to identify potential anchoring trees and palms that could remain, that are in good condition. It's certainly our approach to completely wipe what's there. We'd like to inventory what is there and could remain as part of the design. So to answer your question, yes, we will inventory what's existing and produce a tree disposition plan which identifies the existing issues.
And I would also suggest that there's a maybe midway briefing with the CRA board. In the past, we planted trees on the median on Northwest 7th Ave and then removed them because the board was not happy.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that there's a midway point where you guys are updating us before you guys make that final decision.
Yes, I believe that this scope of work does even include Kimberly Horn coming to the board meeting to be able to advise both CRAs and making sure that everyone is on the same page as the work that's being taken under.
Correct. And to the councilman's point, in terms of lighting, I know I've seen in other cities where they're able to do like uplighting, you know, around the trees and so forth, just, you know, giving it that appeal that it may need. So thank you, Councilman, for bringing that up. Did you have a
Madam Annabelle, it's strictly for the median. It's not along the trees along the sidewalk at this point in time.
At this point, we are only focusing on the medians.
Okay.
Now, quickly on the topic of the trees, and I know down here in North Miami, some way, somehow, we have love for native trees. which happen to be in most cases like very ugly, hard to go and everything, would that for Northwest 7th Avenue, are we talking about like trees that will bring beauties? Because now we have some palm trees in the median that I know we need to get rid of them because they are like not only flimsy and ugly and not growing and everything. So for our Northwest 7th Avenue, I just don't want to see our hands being tied behind our backs on that native trees. That's something that we need to talk about now to take into consideration because we need to elevate the area.
We absolutely will be. We will be taking sustainability and aesthetics into priority when we are making the selection. So not only something that's sustainable, but something that also improves the visual look of the corridor is going to be top of mind.
If I may, my name is Casnevu Pell, the Executive Director of the Northwest 7th Avenue CRA. I think I agree to the point that you made, board member. I think one of the things that now that we are going to have irrigation, we're going to ensure that we have something that is, colorful in the lighting. We are going to talk to the consultant and ensuring that this is something that we can do in the future. But I just wanted to thank you for approving the item, and I know this is something that we've been talking about for a very long time, ensuring that both CRAs are working hand in hand, and hopefully with this we are going to be able to move some things faster. Thank you.
Thank you. And my last comment will go back to Kemley Horn. I know and I've seen the kind of work that you guys are doing. I was at the FRA conference. I saw your presentation and everything, and I hope that you will bring the best to our Northwest 7th Avenue. So that's my last point to that.
Absolutely. Glad to hear you're part of that presentation.
Yeah. And to that, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Sure, I just want to, no, I have no problem with the motion or the second. What I'd like to see, though, I'd like to see something similar to that off of West Dixie Highway as well. So I just wanted to put that on the record for now.
Yes, I do have an update on that. I believe FDOT has just recently done work on those medians, so we would need their power moving forward. I don't think we're able to touch those roads at this point because of work that they have just recently done. However, we will reach out and see if there's any collaboration that we can do to make additional improvements.
I have a motion made by Board Member Charles to approve Agenda Item 4. The motion was seconded by Vice Chair Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Agenda item 5.
Agenda Item 5, a resolution approving agreement with Greater Miami Service Corps. A resolution of the Chair and Board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency authorizing the Executive Director and North Miami CRA Attorney to negotiate and finalize an agreement with Greater Miami Service Corps to implement a beautification program for 15 single-family residences located in the community redevelopment area for an amount not to exceed $150,000. Authorizing the Executive Director to execute the agreement with Greater Miami Service Corps. Authorizing the Executive Director to take all action necessary to implement the terms of the agreement and providing for an effective date. Agenda Item 5.
Staff is requesting that the board authorize the execution of the agreement with Greater Miami Service Corps for the beautification of 15 homes within the NMCRA boundaries in an amount not to exceed $150,000. Staff is requesting an approval of a proposed bid waiver pursuant to Section 7-120 subsection B of the City's Code of Ordinances. GMCS is a youth workforce development organization dedicated to empowering young people aged 18 to 24 through paid service, education, and career training. They've been in existence since 1990. And they have been working with several different municipalities. Staff is recommending approval of this item.
Okay. I'll open up public hearing for agenda item 5. Public hearing is now open. Seeing none, agenda item is now closed. Discussion up here. So this is for youth workforce development. So this is not our existing rehab program.
This is separate and apart from our rehab program, our existing rehab program, which I will be addressing in our in my report this evening. We are continuing as planned with our regular residential rehabilitation project. That is a much broader scope program that we provide for our residents. After we do select our residents for that program this year is when we will launch this program, because it does have a smaller scope of service. This is, as you know, we can give up to $30,000 worth of services to those who do apply under our residential rehabilitation program. Under this service, they would receive $10,000 worth of improvements. So it is strictly focused on the landscape, facade, and some minor energy improvement that is in the interior of the home.
And the youth selected between the ages of 18 and 24, are they North Miami residents or they're all the
They will be North Miami residents. GMSC will work within the communities to make sure that the ones who are selected are coming from the community.
Okay.
I'm
Yes,
Chair, if I may,
Councilwoman.
and I'm director, would that be different from the, I know we had a poll that we talked about.
Yes, this is completely different. Yes.
That's different, right?
Yes.
Because I saw the 15.
Yes.
I'm looking at the 15 and everything. Okay then.
Yes.
All right.
Any other questions? No? Move for approval?
Oh, second.
I have a motion made by Vice Chair Timothy to approve Agenda Item 5. The motion was seconded by Board Member Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
All right. Number 6, CRA Attorney Report.
I would just like to thank the board for approving my contract for the coming fiscal year. Look forward to working with you all again and with the executive director and her staff who have been most professional. Thank you.
All righty. Number 7, CRA Executive Director Report.
Just a reminder that we are going to be launching our residential rehabilitation program. The applications are going to be available beginning December 1st. The deadline for submitting those applications to our office is January 23rd.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
December 1st.
December 1st is going to be when the applications are going to be open for residents to make their application for the program. The deadline will be January 23rd. We will hold the lottery after. We have not selected the lottery date just yet. We need to see the availability of the chambers. But also a quick reminder about Solo Miami and the
Sorry, to go
affordable.
back to what you were saying. Do we know how much funding did we allot for this year?
We allotted 1.3.
1.3 million?
Yes.
Okay.
That's broken down though. So
Yeah.
Okay. And for Solo Miami, we do have the deadline approaching for the units that we do have available at that development. It is 5 units that we have at the 80% AMI rate. The deadline for people to submit for those are November 7th, with the lottery being held on November 12th.
And you received applications?
We have been receiving applications, yes. That will
And do we know
conclude-
what the rents are? Because when we're saying 80% AMI, so we have 5 units at 80%
That is correct.
AMI, and I know there are 2 bedrooms. So let's let the folks know at what the rent prices are.
I don't have it off the top of my head. I want to tell you it's 1900.
1900,
Yes,
right.
I want to tell you it's 1921, something like that. But it is what is published by HUD. Again, I want to be clear to the public that this is not something that the CRA chooses. The developer doesn't choose. These are the HUD guidelines that are updated every year around April 1st.
So 2 bedrooms at 1900.
That is correct.
All righty. November 7th is the deadline.
Yes, and the lottery will be held on November 12th. And the ones who are selected will be posted on our website and at our office.
Okay. It'll be here in the chamber?
Yes, it will.
Okay. And is that it for your report?
That is it for my report. As always, you do have copies of the all of the project reports that we have going on this month. So you do have that included in your packets, and you did receive some goodie bags from the CRA. Hope you enjoy.
Any questions as it relates to this monthly report? I have a question. For those that says project in default, does that mean that their grant was rescinded?
Not yet rescinded. They are in. We are reaching out to see if there's a way to cure those. But if there's not, then they will come back before you to be rescinded.
Even if it was paid out? So what happens then?
This is the issue. We would rather cure these situations than to have to rescind them, because these are projects that are heavily already receiving money from us. So we want to find a way to work with them.
I know.
When you say you're in default, you're unable to reach them, or?
No, they're in default because they're past their construction period. Remember, we normally give them about 18 months under the contract period. These are people who have been funded since for a lot longer than
21,
that.
22,
Yes.
yeah.
Is there staff that we have allocated, or that is following these projects, and that is,
They are.
on a more timely basis, so that we don't have all of these default well,
It's not
this
that many.
default.
Yes, we do have some of these who have representatives that have reached out to us. We have been trying to work with them to see if there are ways to remedy what their situations are. A lot of them are just needing far more funding than we can provide to them. So it really is coming down to money. And at this point, we just really need to see whether or not there's a way to kind of wrap up the project or if they just really have to abandon the work.
So I have a question, Mr. Attorney. For some of them, if they are far gone within the work and they're coming to request for additional monies, we have the powers to do that within reason if it helps the project. Is it because of price of construction? What is?
Some of them are saying price of construction, and that's the reason why they haven't come back to you for the increased amount. Some of the rationales haven't really been supported.
Okay.
So once we come to an agreement where we can really see a basis for why it's taken this long, then we can bring it back to the board.
Is it safe to say that those projects that are in default are at least 50% of their
Yes.
project?
Yes. Yes.
Quick question. So for
Mm-hmm.
residents that know me, I see that they have a balance of $4 million. When do they get paid that $4 million?
So 2 is going to be paid now this fiscal year, and then the last 2 will be paid next fiscal year. There were one of the developers that we had a construction payment schedule in their contract. So we are actually in the process of making that reimbursement right now. So that should be paid. This year's obligation should be paid very soon.
And
Any other questions?
yeah, no, just a quick question on those project in default. So I only see a small, the small ones. Do you have any of the big project that we know holding big millions that are in default now or coming up? Anything because I just see the small little fish in here. I don't see any big sharks and everything.
Square.
Yeah.
They're not in default.
Oh, no. I just said
Right. He wants to know if there are any of the infrastructure projects that are in default. There is no infrastructure project currently in default at this time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Go ahead.
Any update on what Redwood is doing?
No. No, we do not have an update.
Do you have any any sense of what they're doing? Or any communications with what they're doing?
In my last conversation with the developer, they are stating that they want to do whatever they can to work with the CRA. I think there are some outstanding submissions that they need to make to the CRA before we can come to another agreement that we can bring to the board.
Okay.
So we're waiting on that from the developer.
And no timeline on that?
I hope to bring it to the next meeting.
Okay. And what about the document, I don't think it's on this agenda for the council, of the, we gave them on phase 2 or tower 2, $8 million out of city funds, and they're supposed to release us from the CRA funds on tower 2. Where's that stand?
That's the whole issue that's supposed to be coming back to the CRA board.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying I'm hoping to bring that item back in November, but if it's not yet ready, I'm not able to. So we are working with the developer. I know the board member has been involved in trying to bring all of this to a resolution. So as soon as it's ready to come back to a board meeting, we will be bringing that item.
Okay.
I'm sorry to go back. Rux Park, were they able to close on their Rux Park?
Close?
Yeah, I thought they were. Did they close on their loan?
Rux Park, what they were waiting for was surtax funding from Miami-Dade County, and I did follow up. The last time I spoke with them, they were still waiting on a decision, so I need to follow up and see if they were awarded.
Because I think he told me it was like November or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I will ask and see if they were awarded.
Okay, and then for Allure, have you heard from that developer on their start date?
I have not.
And when is their? I think what did we do? Did we do like a year?
I think June 2026 is when their deadline is, so we have some time before there's a potential default in that situation.
Okay. Any other questions? Nope. I see we have public comments. Seeing none,
Move to adjourn?
second.
Board Member Burns moved to adjourn, seconded by Vice Chair Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote. The time is now 6:15 p.m.